Have you ever heard of a lake so beautiful that its waters shimmer like liquid jewels, yet no one dares to touch it? They say whoever drinks from it either gains everything they've ever desired or loses the one thing they can't live without. This is the story of the Lake of Gems. And by the time you reach the end, you'll understand why some treasures are never meant to be taken. Long ago, nestled deep within the emerald valleys of a forgotten kingdom, there was a small village named Alaris. Life there was simple. People rose with the dawn, worked the fields, and shared stories by the fire each night. But beyond the village, hidden in the folds of mist and mountains, lay something few had seen and even fewer believed in, a lake that sparkled with 1,000 colors. The elders whispered that the gods had poured their tears of joy into that lake, turning it into a mirror of paradise. They called it the Lake of Gems. Among the villagers lived a young man named Aaron. He was kind, hardworking, and always dreaming beyond his means. But fate hadn't been kind. His father was gone, and his mother lay ill, her life slowly fading away. Aaron worked day and night, trading wood, crops, and even his own comfort for her medicine, but it was never enough. One cold evening, as he sat beside her frail body, she reached for his hand and whispered, "My son, don't lose yourself trying to save me. Some things aren't meant to be bought." Her words pierced his heart like glass. That night, unable to sleep, Aaron walked into the forest. The moon was full, and the wind whispered secrets between the trees. He stumbled upon an old traveler by a dying fire, a man wrapped in furs, eyes glinting like steel. The man looked up and said, "You seek something that lies beyond the world of men." Aaron froze. "How do you know that?" The traveler smiled, revealing a golden tooth. "Because I once sought it too, the Lake of Gems. Its waters can heal any sickness, grant any wish, but at a cost." Aaron's heart raced. He begged the traveler to tell him the way, and though the man warned him again and again, Aaron's desperation broke his fear. The next morning, with nothing but a small pouch of bread and his mother's pendant around his neck, he began his journey toward the forbidden lake. The forest grew wilder with each step. Trees twisted like ancient giants, and rivers whispered in voices that almost sounded human. On the third night, Aaron met a girl named Lyra, sitting alone by the stream, playing a soft tune on a wooden flute. Her eyes were bright, curious, and filled with sorrow. "You shouldn't be here," she said, her voice trembling. "The lake doesn't give without taking." Aaron told her his story, about his mother, about the sickness, and about his hope. For a long time, she said nothing. Then finally, she whispered, "I once tried to take from it too." She turned her face toward the moon, and tears shimmered down her cheeks. "My sister was dying. I drank from the lake and begged it to save her. It did, but the next morning, I awoke to find myself cursed. My reflection no longer shows me. I live, but the lake took my soul's image." Aaron stared at her, torn between fear and pity. But his love for his mother burned stronger than his doubt. "I must try," he said softly, "even if it costs me everything." Lyra looked at him with aching eyes and said, "Then I'll go with you, so you don't lose yourself completely." For days they traveled together, through fog, storms, and endless silence. Slowly, something gentle began to bloom between them, a bond born not from words, but from shared pain. When Aaron smiled, she smiled too, though her heart knew it could never end well. Finally, one dawn, they reached it. The Lake of Gems that it was beyond anything human eyes could describe. The water glowed like molten sapphire, rippling with hues of gold and rose. Every pebble at the bottom shone like a jewel. The air hummed softly, like a lullaby from another world. Aaron stepped closer, his reflection shimmering beside Lyra's. "This is it," he whispered. "Mother will live." But as he knelt and cupped the water, the wind howled and a voice rose from the depths. Calm, sorrowful, ancient. "Mortal heart, why do you seek what is not yours?" Aaron froze. "Please," he begged, tears running down his face. "She's all I have. I can't let her die." The voice replied, "Then give what you cannot bear to lose, and she shall be saved." He hesitated. What must I give?" But the lake remained silent. The surface rippled, showing flashes of his mother smiling. laughing, then fading. Lyra stepped forward, gripping his arm. Aaron, stop. It's never worth the price. He turned to her, eyes full of anguish. You don't understand. She's my mother. Lyra's tears fell into the lake, turning to tiny crystals that vanished beneath the water. And you don't understand that love isn't measured by how much we can sacrifice, but by how much we can let go. Aaron stared at her for a long moment, his heart breaking under the weight of choice. Finally, he dropped the water, falling to his knees. Then take me, he whispered to the wind. If my love is true, let her live, even if I must forget everything. The lake shimmered, then fell silent. The colors faded to silver. Lyra gasped. Aaron's reflection vanished. He looked at her one last time, smiled, and whispered, Tell her, I found peace. Then, in a blink, he was gone, his body fading into the mist, leaving only ripples behind. Lyra stood alone, her heart shattering like glass. But when she returned to the village weeks later, she found an old woman standing in the sunlight, smiling and healthy, Aaron's mother. She asked, My dear, do you know my son? He vanished days ago. Lyra looked at her and smiled through her tears. He lives in the heart of the lake. Years passed. The Lake of Gems remained hidden, and its legend became a tale told by firelight, of love, sacrifice, and the courage to let go. But sometimes, when the moon was high and the air was still, travelers swore they saw two reflections upon the water, one of a girl with no shadow, and one of a boy smiling beside her. And that is why no one dares to steal from the lake. Because some treasures are meant not to be taken, but to be remembered.